Hello, all my lovely stars. I am just getting a few things finished off. You might be able to hear my dad in the other room listening to girl power music while doing the dishes. And I'm trying to log into some things as well. It has been a long, long day and a long, long weekend. So I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes to, wait for peeps to pop in. And then I will tell you guys a little bit about the Blueberry Fest and everything that went on yesterday. Oh, little purr. Oh, everyone have a take of the day. Question of the day. So, BRB finding my question of the day. Okay, I'll use this one. I've saved a whole bunch of questions of the day for ease of future use. So, alright. So, hello, my lovely stars. Today, the plan is to write up my goals for the month and, look at last month and, what went well and what I need to work on and, things that might have affected how the month went. Let's see. And then plan out for next month and some new ideas and stuff I want to work on. So, and of course, the question of the day is, what makes you instantly like a character? What's something a character can do that makes you instantly like them? What is something that you like to see represented, maybe a small thing or personal thing or what have you? I'd love to hear about it. And then I'm going to... There we go. Don't know how that got bumped down so far. Oh, that's right. I was having issues with the Stop. Sorry. That's all I could say there for a second. Because I kept picking up the wrong thing. So sorry, you guys just got a little bit of the stop that goes on occasionally. And I can't get things to work properly. Oh shit, music. I should put on music. Hold on. And then just a reminder to anyone who is not already on my Patreon, I'm going to start doing weekly short stories on Patreon that the free tier will get access to, and also will be used for updates of anything cool going on that I feel like everybody should know about. Music. I was going to put on music. Dear God, the ADHD is ADHDing today. I once again have the video turned up to approximately 11 billion. Sorry, I really like to listen to videos at really, really fast speed. Oh, there's Fidget. Man, they zoomed right in today. Didn't even notice. Yeah, I like to listen to videos really, really fast when I'm just like vibing. I think it genuinely helps me focus more. Like I was telling my cousin that, like when I'm working on a repetitive task, I like to put on an audiobook or something to like almost 3 times speed, because like if it's just slightly too fast to be comfortable to listen to, then it's actually like the perfect speed. And then I can really focus on it and whatever I'm working on. Okay. So yesterday was the Blueberry Arts Fest. Oh, someone gave me a shout out like 3 hours ago? No, 3 days ago. Okay. Brain is not working. I really should have made like a script of my plans, and I just didn't. So yeah, so yesterday was Blueberry Arts Fest. Overall it was pretty good. It did rain, so that is a little bit of a bummer, because that means not as many people come off the ship to come investigate, not as many people, you know, want to go out in the rain normally. Daniel being salty. Denial being salty, you're just trying to obscure the truth. Yeah, that makes sense. As I like Daniel being salty. How do you know my Daniel, and how do you know he's often salty? But anyway. Yeah, so the Blu-ray Fest went pretty good. If I did not have to deal with individuals who I do not like dealing with, it would have been better. But, you know, that's not really something I can control most of the time. So it is probably just better in the long and short run to just do my best to move past that. Let's see. Sold a few of my books. Got a few new people on Patreon. Not a lot, but, you know, a couple people. Which is always good. And then, once again, going to shamelessly plug, I am going to be doing more stuff on my free tier Patreon and just on Patreon in general. Like, I'm planning to do short story every week, stuff along those lines. And I will be doing my Snail Mail Club, and that is officially up. I should actually add that to the channel. Hold on. Oh, that was loud. Yeah, I should add that to my little thing that I posted at the start of every stream. One message, how does that look? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Overall though, it was a good event. You know, I enjoy getting out and chatting with people, and I had Justin Marks was at my booth as well. And for any of you who have not heard me speak about him before, he's a author who also lives here in Ketchikan, and he does lit RPG. And he has one finished 5-book series and one almost finished 3-book series, and I'm very excited for him and what he's working on. Let's see. Man, it was just long. And like, man, I spent most of this, like, last night was spent in a daze. It had not been my goal. Like, I knew I was going to be tired, but I didn't realize just how tired I was going to be at the end of the event today, or even yesterday. Like, I just kind of wandered around in a fog for a while, which is not good, but, you know, what can you do? overall a good event though. And hopefully for the next one, I will have my next book, The Changeling, done. Which I really do need to come up with a title to be like, hey, by the way, this is happening here where I live. Here where other people live, and get a little bit more attention from the tourists. Like, I kind of want to call it like The Changeling of Brown Mountain or something. But that's... Not many tourists know that Brown Mountain's here in Ketchikan, you know? Or here on this island. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. And then I'm actually going to open up Artfight in my document so I can show off everything I did. Because I am, in fact, very excited about it. So we're just going to briefly cover my thing. So for those of you who may or may not be aware of it, I took part in Artfight for the first time ever this year. And that was very, very cool for me. I'd heard about it before, I'd seen people talking about it before, and I was like, yeah, this sounds cool, I would love to be a part of it. Once it happened, and every time I heard about it, it's like, oh, by the way, the event's halfway over, or oh, it just finished, or you know, it's just a bad time to take part in it. For a variety of reasons. So I've never been able to take part of it before. I didn't even know there were teams. I vaguely knew it was art related. But I've since discovered it's more or less what I wanted NaNoWriMo to be. Because when I was first in high school and hearing about NaNoWriMo, it was originally advertised by some teachers as a bunch of writers get together and work on their projects and get to talk about it and share and all of that. But even back then, I found the chat rooms to be very unwelcoming and not super positive, and I feel less bad talking about it and the bad experiences I had now that NaNoWriMo has more or less gone completely kaput. Like, it's a shame, it was cool, I know a lot of people, myself included, got books done because they were part of NaNoWriMo, but it was not a very positive space overall. Sleepy purrs. So I was very excited to join Artfight this year, which happened to be the 10-year event, and be able to join such a positive experience and talk to so many cool people and see so much cool art. And I saw a fraction of all of the art available. Like, there was something like just under 800,000 people this year. Like, that's insane. 800,000 people. It's the entire population of my hometown times 80. It's wild. But yeah, so it was a huge event. So excited to take part of it. I was advised by a friend that when I was getting ready for the event, I should make sure to have a plan. Like, I should know who I want to attack. So I made an attack list ahead of time. And I don't know how well you can see this, but it's got tragedy and comedy, because I was on Team Mystery, so I was like, I know I will only attack tragedy and comedy ahead of time. And then I had some people who I made friends with through the event that are on my, you know, swap in list. And then I did not end up making 30 plus days of people. But you know what? That's okay, because I still had a plan, and I more or less followed through. I did more attack people I knew, but like a couple of them I was very excited about. And some of them I did not get to, even though I really, really wanted to. Let me see if I can find my... whatever. And a couple of them I was very excited about, and I just didn't get to. I did not get to do Annabelle Treacher, because I was so excited about her, but she was towards the end of my list. And I just had a little bit of issues with stuff saved on my computer, and like remembering character names, and how excited I was with each person. Like Zed, I got to do with him and his kids, but like I missed out on so many of these cool characters just because I didn't have time. I spent a lot of the last 2 weeks prepping for the Blueberry Fest, and you know, sometimes that's what you gotta do. But yeah, it was a good event. It was very positive. I really enjoyed it. I can show you guys my profile, which I have pulled up here. It says, "Hi there, I'm Ella, and I'm a writer, gamer, and early artist. I love sci-fi and horror and zombie apocalypses. But I'm going to do my best to get out of my comfort zone and draw new things." And I got really far out of my comfort zone. I drew anthropomorphic horses. I drew a deer satyr. I drew a drummer. I have regrets about making him a drummer, but you know what? It worked. I drew a lot of characters. I got way out of my comfort zone, and I drew 10 pieces of art, which is substantially more than I've drawn in the last, 5 years. So I am super proud of myself for getting out of my comfort zone. Going to do my best. This is my first art fight, and I plan to do revenge, so attack away. I think I managed, except for one person, I got revenge on 3 people, and the 4th person is just because I got a little too ambitious and I was going to make a comic, and then I just did not have time. Like, I even woke up early this morning with the intention of finishing the comic with what little time I had left, and I sat down at my computer at like 8 a.m. and I watched as the timer ticked down on the main page of Artfight, and I was like, no. All of my characters are from projects that I'm technically supposed to be working on, and I'm hoping getting art of them will help me get inspired to work on them. Any skill, art style, art medium, and amount of effort are welcome and love. Literally, I'll be happy with anything. Please, please, please don't be afraid to make art of my guys. I'll love it all. And then please message/comment for any reason. I'm open to making friends. My Discord info, which you can join my Discord link through the link easy. And then I'm open to art trades off season, though I don't promise anything now. I may be a little slow to respond. That's because I plan to only respond at the end of the day. So I did spend all day, every day, like, checking for comments, checking for notes, checking for notifications. All my characters are my faves, and I would be hyped to see anyone. But if you have trouble deciding, click here for random character, and this goes to a little random link site that really does take you to a random character. Oh, it took you to Jack! How lovely. Oh yeah, I can introduce my characters too. Anyway, and then here's my main thing, and then these were my top 5s. So I used, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to use as my profile picture, and I didn't want to use like the picture I have for Discord, which is just me. I did my planet and focus user Elowen. I only did friendly fire for revenge, so I think I only hit like 1 or 2 people with friendly fire. I definitely did revenge. I did not do mass attacks. And then I attack most of the other teams, but I always make time for revenge. And then we have Jack. We have... Shit, I should know who my characters all are. I think this is Lena from the Love is Dead podcast, a novel. This is the lovely, lovely... I know who she is. My brain is blanking. Penelope Rose. She's the main character of Undeath on the High Seas, which is currently finished. Technically, I did a mass attack. When did I do a mass attack? This is Rhonda Rhodes. She is my girl. And then this is Rodney, who is tired of your shit. And then the characters I have are only human, but, you know, feral anthro monsters. Worms? I was so excited to research worms. I had never even thought of worm characters as an option, but, like, turns out there were so many worms. There's so many delightful worms. The first one I found was like, he's bi, recently divorced, a CEO, he has pectorals. Oh god, my mom and I laughed about that so hard for so long, just in genuine astonishment and happiness that the character even existed. I drew the 3 horse children and their dad. Did that count as a mass attack? It was just 4 people. I didn't realize it counted as a mass attack. No, I just wanted to draw a single dad and his 3 children. Which I will show you all of my attacks here in a second. And then I do want to show off my statistics, because I am proud of the fact that I made sure to do way more art than I received, because that was one of my goals. So, hey, I got over 1,000 points. Which is fantastic, isn't it? I did 9 attacks, 1 friendly fire, 4 defenses, 23 characters. That's my actual total characters. Oh, I have 52 followers and 71 following. And then this is for this year. I'm sure that next year I'll have different numbers overall. But yeah, this just summarizes this year's. Which, same as that. And then my first art fight attack was day 1 or 2, I believe. No, I flipped my calendar. I can't see anymore. And then I officially got 10 attacks. Technically over 1 is a mass attack, but comically above 2 is. Good to know. And then I've got my characters. Oop. I got my characters and we'll come back to them. So yeah, attacks. Okay, so this is not the first one I officially finished, but this is not the first one I started, but it's the first one I finished. Actually, I was telling... Which one was it? This one. This one was the one I first started. As you can see, there's a spaceship and a super tall robot. And I was telling Peebles about the super tall alien robot, and they said, what about my super tall robot alien BF? And I was like, you know what? Congrats, your character's getting their own super tall alien BF. Because, coincidentally, like right beforehand, they had attacked me with my lovely Rhonda. Which, so much work went into this. I want you guys to know, just so much work went into this. Like, I genuinely spent so much time admiring it. And I can't even show the entire thing on screen at once because there is so much of it. But yeah, just a little planet, just creeping ivy, which I love. Teeth? This is my real life Mothman giant fuzzy robe thing, which I love. There's the box of Post-its, which does currently live in my desk. 12 Tiny Tales of Terror, which is a book I wrote. Undeath on the High Seas, a book I also wrote. Which one is that one? Ghosts I've Met, book I've got on my actual bookshelf. Ethos of a Hitman, book I'm currently working on. Lonely Robot on a Distant World, which is actually a tiny RPG I made. Warning, something. Creepy eyeball. That would be my worm on a string, who currently lives in my purse. There's even more. I can't read all of them very well. Dredge 50, which crossover fanfic to work on. Oh, The Scarecrow. That was my first novel on air. The 2 different time zones. I still don't understand that one, but I love it. She got the Fairy Lights, which is same. And there we go. We've got Mothman, who I love. We've got Illuminati. We've got Vampire Boys Are Dumb, which I love so much. Space Face Baby, which is a book series I'm working on. I'm literally turning my head upside down. Zombie Road Trip. I don't even remember which one that's in reference to. We have stuff for Jack, who's another thing, Dear Dad. This is Lily Lee, who's another one of my characters. And then Beebles was nice enough to write me an entire mini fan fiction, which I love. It's so good. I love it. I love it. It's so amazing. Project Zomboid. There we go. See, I knew it. I knew it was a reference to something. I just could not remember because my brain is Swiss cheese. So this was the first one I officially finished. And then this person's character is an ancient ghost who's like 1,000 years old, who's from hell, who's been kicked out of hell for being too much of a nuisance, and like 4 or 5 other things, and it's just delightfully ridiculous, and I had a lot of fun making this character, and figuring out how to do the like repeating halls to make it look like it's in a big location. And I figured they'd be fun to look slightly annoyed. When I actually started drawing this one though, I drew it sideways to give them the impression that they were like, I'm folding my arms where you guys can't see it. So like to give the impression they were taking a nap, and they had been awoken from their nap, and then I thought, no, they shouldn't be on a high beam. They should be hanging upside down somehow. And then I was like, I know, I will marry the 2 ideas. Which is how we got this position. And I spent a lot of time on this. I'm really glad I did it. You know, it was so much fun. And this is such a cartoony character. I really loved getting to work on her and just like make her in my own way. This guy, I had to say trust the process the entire time. I did not trust the process, but it turned out great. I did give him massive chesticles because he needed it. This person, this one wasn't revenge. This was one of the people who I actually picked, and I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. And then he was just like, the person said he's ugly, and I was like, okay, I will figure out how to make him, you know, a little unattractive, and then I made this face, and I was like, oh, I cannot improve on that. But yeah, so we've got, and he's a drummer and a couple other things. I worked hard on making the different light sources and shadows and all of that to stand out. It was so hard, but I really enjoy how it looks. Like, I actually really do like how the shadows, like, link up. Like, the chains are not perfect. The drums are not perfect, but I worked hard on making them look like real drums, and you can actually see it in a couple of places. Did hard work making him look like a real boy. Okay. This one is probably one of my actual favorites, in part because I actually drew a map of the Pokemon world for her to be her and her Ghastly to be looking at. And then this is supposed to be the Studio Ghibli Spirited Away bus stop, which I forgot to draw the signage. I forgot to draw the sign on it, but this is the Studio Ghibli Spirited Away, not Spirited Away, the cat bus. No, Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro sign. So this is actually like them waiting for the bus in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. And she's all lit up purple from her Ghastly, just chilling in her lap while she's looking at the map, trying to read it by the street light. And I spent a while on her shoes and making sure her coat looks good, and like that is a full body. I like fully sketched out her pose before adding the Pokemon and then adding the map over the Pokemon. So like she is like, there are details. You can see her belt. If this stuff wasn't in the way, you'd be able to see her belt. I really like how this one turned out. And I spent a while on the face and went, no one's gonna care if the face looks bad. No one's gonna care if the face looks bad. It's okay if the face looks bad. It's okay. Okay, and then this one's a comic, actually. This was the first one I started, and then I had to take a break and be like, okay, hold on. So these two are supposed to be like alien boyfriends. There's more shenanigans happening there, but I don't remember all of it off the top of my head. But I love that the alien robot has double jointed thumbs, or double thumbs. So like his, instead of having a pinky and a thumb, pinky and a thumb, they're both sides are thumbs, and I really like that. I think it's cool. But I spent a while on this, you know. I've come to study you, Uno reverse. And then he's an alien. He's come to study them. He doesn't know what it means. So what's that mean? It means we're going to study your planet. And then, oh, okay, let's go. And then they get onto the alien spaceship, which I actually drew this side first and then this side to help indicate, like, so I could remember, like, oh, hey, there's a crystal that goes inside, things fall apart, all of that, and then, like, little glowy stuff all over the place. And then, ta-da, they're taking off. They're going to study alien worlds. Then Alias is here to study humans. Maybe not. And then this is actually with a ribbon tool that is in Clip Studio. I wasn't sure what to do with it. Like, I was like, oh, I need to have something coming from the bottom of the ship. What do I make? And then I was just playing around with the ribbon tool, and I was like, oh my god, that's actually perfect. Slight Yu-Gi-Oh! I did redo the Yu-Gi-Oh! Meme. I actually had to figure out how to draw the hand to, like, make it look good. Kinda. Kinda. But I figure black nail polish is fun. And then Marley had no information about her. So like let's go to our main page just so you guys can like see what her actual outfit looks like. Because I tried really hard to get really close to what she actually like was wearing, because she's got the cute dress, it's got some kind of underdress and like flowy bits underneath it, and then her stockings or tights or whatever that have a bunch of holes in them. And I was like, okay, I like this. It kind of reminds me of ballerina, so I'm going to focus in on the ballerina. So she's still kind of got the dress and the all of that, no holes in her stockings, and then I definitely made her little leg things way shorter. And her little hand warmers, which I love so much. And then I said it was a pie down here in the corner, and it turns out it was actually cake, but you know, it looks cute. You know, she's got a snack waiting for her. And I worked to make her shoe, like I was gonna make them sneakers, and I was like, ballet shoes are better. She got the little bow, she got the little ribbon, she got her necklace, which is a very important necklace apparently. But I just had fun with it. And her hair is soft and fun, and it was fun to do. Just admiring it. Her hand's a little fucked up, but that's okay. Both her hands are a little fucked up, but that's okay. And then, well, that's certainly not a good situation. So literally, the original message about, or the original information about this character was, put that man in a situation. And this is why you don't have conversations outside of the stream while you're streaming. Anyway. Anywho. Yeah, so put him in the situation. So, we're gonna take a look at this character really quick too, just... We're gonna go look at the boy. Okay. So, moderate nudity, you know. Oh, wait, I think did they change the original? Maybe? I don't know. Either way, I saw this character and I was like, oh hey, that looks cool. I like them. I like their deer person. And then, like, deer satyr. And then I don't have a full body with his legs because I could not for the life of me figure out how to draw them, but they're deer legs. And I said, okay, bet. So, I was like, okay, I'll draw him standing. Deer standing on two legs do not look right. Like, deer aren't supposed to be bipeds. Who knew? But yeah, so I could not for the life of me get him to look right standing. So I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll do something else. I'll have him laying down. And I found like 3 or 4 different poses of old men clutching their chest while laying down. And I was like, hold on, I'll figure it out. So I kept doing it. I kept trying to figure it out. And his legs look so fucked up. And I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, I'll get it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll do it. Yeah, turns out deer aren't supposed to be bipeds. I totally understand what the original artist meant now. I didn't mention that his legs were a nightmare to draw. I really should have. Did I? But yeah, so they said put that man in a situation, and my first thought was to have him get hunted, and then they were like, oh no, you should change that. And I was like, okay, and then I have him be hit by a car. So yeah. I think you tell me to put that man in a situation, I have him hit by a car. Ugh. And like he has little flowers in his antlers, and I think they're cute. So I made sure to add the little flowers on the antlers, because I think they're cute. And then I said, blood everywhere. So we got blood on the horn, we got blood on the shoulder, we got blood on this hand, we got blood on the broken leg. I did my best to have the 2 light sources from the high beams, like, on both sides. Somehow didn't break an antler getting hit by a car, but, like, it looks great, right? And this is supposed to be him baring his teeth. It just kind of looks like weirdly big lips, but I promise that's him like baring his teeth in pain at the situation. And I'm so sad I didn't get to include anything about the chest or like the fact that he's got nipple piercings, because like actually those were really cool. But the pose just doesn't really lend to it, and I was basically done, and I was like, no, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. And then I had "Hello, Clarice" written on the side of the drawing for like so much of the process. So this is one of the characters that was on my original list. Show me your name. What is your name? Yeah, Insomnia. Somewhere. Yeah, Insomnia. So they were day 9. Because I did my best to have, I did my best to look at the character, like Kaya was one of them. A couple other ones. I do want to come back to a lot. Marley, she was one of them. I did my best to focus on my list first, and then if well, I realized a lot of the characters who I was originally planning to attack, like, they didn't have any information about them, they didn't have any descriptors, they didn't have any permissions, you know, which makes it, as it turns out, as a storyteller, really hard to come up with something to draw, like, do while drawing them. So I was just like, okay, how do I make them more interesting? How do I add stuff to them? How do I make it, just, like, what am I supposed to do with these guys? So, like, as you can see, almost all of the other characters I did, they have some kind of story attached to what they're doing. Except for Insomnia. Insomnia, who I looked at and went, wow, this is a leggy... Like, I'm gonna show you the original just so you can see how leggy this character is. Because it's ridiculous. So, for one, I love this hair. I have no idea what these pink red things are supposed to be, but like look at how long these legs are. Like those are some crazy long legs, right? And I was like, okay, I gotta somehow make this character even longer. I gotta make them even bigger somehow. And then like their permissions is no, not safe for work, which suggests it's slut, no fetish, no racism, no changing, whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, I can work with that. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do with them. Like I spent the entire time going, what do I do with them? What am I supposed to do with them? Where do I go with this? So I spent a lot of time like drawing like butterflies, I think, and stuff while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I was like, you know what that person would be good for? Contortionist. So I found several different poses of contortionists, which I think is why I accidentally gave him a little bit of a rack. Him, her, them, the gender is non-specific. Like, the gender is whatever, but gender is contortionist. Leggy. Long. So I was just trying to figure out what to do with them, and I couldn't figure out what to do with the feathery things, and I was like, I know. And so I just played around a lot. I really enjoyed like this crazy shape that the body made, like the original contortionist made. So it's like, okay, how do I bend that even more to the extreme for Insomnia? And I kept the crazy ass smile, and I kept the weird fun hair because I really liked it. The arms were a little hard just because like this lack of bicep on the arm was intentional, I think. So it was weird that the like forearms had way more meat to them than the biceps did. So that was a little hard to work with. But I had fun, and I feel like I did a pretty good job of catching the differences between like chest and hip and ratios, and like see this leg is a little bit lighter than this leg. So we go back to my art, and you can see this leg on top is lighter than this leg, which was on purpose. This arm is lighter, but that's to help differentiate. And it's supposed to be they've got their head in their hand, which was fun. But honestly, like once I got done with having issues about making art at all that day, I had fun with this character. This one is probably one of the two I was most excited to draw, and I didn't actually finish drawing the other one. But I spent so much time drawing this man and his babies. I was so excited to draw his babies. I spent 2 hours designing this bathroom they're in. I probably spent a good 2 hours on the two babies, and then another 2 hours on that baby and the dad. Even more time. Type's really messed up. I don't like that, but that's okay. I forgot to draw the strips there. But that's okay. No one but me is even going to notice that unless I say something. I did my best to catch what the dad was doing. So originally, still, like, it did. It turned out really well. I feel like I made the challenge harder on myself because the kids aren't wearing any clothes, so I had a harder time, like, capturing depth and, like, shadows and stuff, especially because I didn't add any shadows, really. Let's see. We're gonna go to look at Zed proper so you guys can see where my inspiration came from. So, like, he's a workhorse who dyes himself fun colors to pretend to be a zebra and works as a jester. So I think they updated his information. Yeah, because I did not know he was transmasked. Well, the signs were there that he was transmasked, but I was just like, whatever, he's a man. Oh, okay, slightly changed. Informations are different. But that's okay. But yeah, so originally it just said, normal workhorse who dyes himself to look like a zebra, and he has 3 adopted children, or he has 3 children who he trains and looks after. I said, that man is a dad, and he is tired, and he is taking care of his babies. So, here he is, full costume. You can see I did snag a little bit of it for this one. I did not draw as much of him as I could have, but I went, what do babies do? What do small children do? They get into everything they're not supposed to, and they try to mimic the adults in their lives. So we can see the babies are playing in his different dyes. This one got on the nail. Of course, touching the sink, touching the counter, touching everything. Yeah, and it's what little kids do. Covering that one has carefully painted themselves a little bit and then went, I must paint, and has started drawing on their sibling, who is happy covering themselves in paint. But yeah, this one took a while to make, and I really like how it turned out. And then we've got... Oh, the face is so good, honestly. It's so ridiculous, but so good. So this is directly pulled from BuzzFeed Unsolved. Like, I found a sketch image and then I did my best to replicate it. I did not trace it. I found the thing and I switched back and forth to make it as close as possible. So some things match better than others, but I wanted to make sure that Nebula was shorter than Pax. And then I actually had to redo this one because I'd gotten pretty far. Like, I'd gotten to the point where I'd sketched out the characters, and then I lost the file. Don't know what happened to it, but it's gone now. Also, you can see the incredibly realistic 3D flashlight because I was so tired and I didn't feel like drawing a flashlight again because I drew the flashlight so many times. Like 4 or 5 times originally, and then another 3 times trying to get it right. And then I was like, screw it! I know I have a 3D image of the flashlight somewhere. So I just gave up. I used a 3D model, and you know what? It's weirdly real, but it's there. And flashlight flickers on and off. And then Shane, originally in this case, Nebula, said, it's moments like this I'll never forget. And then Pax was originally Ryan's opinion. Just with a good therapist, hopefully I will. So Nebula is also the character who is getting sucked off to get a alien boyfriend. Giant robot alien boyfriend. So I just did her outfit, super chill. I just did his outfit, what he was normally wearing. I originally had planned to spice it up a little bit more, but you know, whatever. I love my original plan for Nebula was actually to have her being lightly possessed, because in her art she actually has, like, one of her options, she actually has a possessed option. Yeah, see, she's prone to possession, so I thought it would be funny to have her being possessed in the middle of the thing, like, just like slight green tinge. And then I was like, no, that'll be too much work. I'm not doing that right now. And then he's panicking because in his original art he also has one where he's panicking. Yeah, so we have him being terrified. His hair's a little bit grown out. I did just like straight up copy the hairstyle he has right there because I didn't want to like fight with figuring out hair. He's panicking though. So panic! She's chill. He's panicking! But yeah. So I made 10 total pieces of art. I did start 3 others. One of them with the super cool Annabelle Treacher by Overgrown Kid, who I did not get to finish, but who made me really, really want to work on getting my project, The Merchant's Widow, done, which would be a paranormal Wild West story. Not there yet. I'll get to it eventually, but yeah. So yeah, I made 10 attacks this year. So can I get them all on screen at the same time? They all mostly on screen at the same time. Yeah, we'll call that good enough. So yeah, he was revenge, and he was revenge, and technically she was revenge, but it turned out that like I posted her like minutes before, or I posted her like minutes after Beebles sent me one, so it was like, yeah, good enough. Yeah, I liked it. And then I, of course, got attacked 4 times. So we've got the original one by Beeples, which is so cool and so many details, and I love the phones unplugged like that too. That's amazing, impressive. I love it. She's got her nail polish. Just noticed that one for the first time. We've got this one we haven't admired yet. Someone did wonderful art of my boy Jack, whose entire thing, he's gonna be the protagonist of the webcomic that I'm going to do. But you can see he's writing letters, and he's got a quill. I love it. And he's got his dad's ring, which he has with him. And I do love the little squish face in the corner. It's so cute! I love it. They really did. Marcus Amendius? They did such a good job with him. I really love how it turned out. I love his little squish face. I love that he's got a little heart over here and a squiggle and nonsense. I love that he looks so smug. This boy has never been smug in a day in his life, but I love it! It's so good! And then we have Go Sign by Beeples, which was in response to the first one I did of Nebula. And these are my very sweet dumb Nebula. So no! How did I not notice that before? Various signs, you know, all the stop signs, warning, don't go, and then go. I love it! We've got them, they're not quite holding hands, and he's smoking because he's dumb and a vampire, and he doesn't realize he needs to stay out of daylight. Yeah, see, in response to getting it. And then I forgot to tag my response to this one properly, so it did get added. That, the one that was supposed to be the response was the last one of the packs in Nebula. And then we have the one with Rodney. This is very much so Rodney's energy, because he's going to tell you that you're wrong, why you're wrong, how many different ways you're wrong, and how much dishonor you're bringing to your family by being this wrong. I love it. It turned out so good, and it's just like a quick little scribble. I love it. It's so good. But yeah, Artfight this year was fantastic. I am so excited to partake again next year. Did I have a character included in? I didn't even think to check this. No, I have no characters included in other things. Yeah, it turned out so good, and I feel like, let me go back to attack so we can just like glance over everybody. I really do feel like I learned a lot doing this, just like some ways to make my drawing a little bit faster, detailing lights, just having fun with body shapes, really having fun with body shapes. Difficulties of translating 2D to 3D to 2D. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm really glad I did it. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to do it next year, and I can't wait to draw in between to like see how much I grow in my art journey in between now and then. Okay, I gotta go let the cat out, and I will be right back. Returned. And then, now that we are done looking at all my beautiful boys and girls... Oh, we didn't look at my characters! I forgot to show off my characters. Okay, we're gonna look at all my beautiful characters, and then we're gonna move on to the actually planning for the next month portion of this. And actually, I do want to talk a little bit... I'm gonna go grab my calendar real quick so we can, like, take a look at that. My gigantic calendar. And talk about, like, what I think happened, where I lost steam, you know, stuff like that. My giant, ridiculous, unwieldy calendar. And cat stairs next to the desk, which I trip on at least once every couple of days. Okay, here we go. You look my giant ridiculous calendar. Okay, we're gonna look at my boys, and then we're gonna start planning for the next month. Or I guess my children, my characters. Okay, and then we're actually gonna start at the bottom and work our way up, because that's the order I intended for them to be in. The widow's down here too. She should technically go. I'm gonna have to go through and reorder this. Like, they had issues with the ordering when I first set it up, and then I just never went back and fixed it. Which is why I actually had the random button to help with that. Okay, where is my character? Not fixing that. We're fixing character order. How do I fix the character order? Sorry, I'm just scrolling for a minute. You're gonna have to deal with it. Can I... this is irritating. Hold on. Characters. I'm gonna take a moment. Aha! Here's how we do it. Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with my boy Jack. No, what? Sending order, show at the end of the line, forcing it to sort them when you make them. Whatever. Okay. So we're starting with my boy Jack. We're gonna have to move everyone around. This sucks. Okay, I might have to just do this later because of how ridiculous the whole situation is. But yes, I have 23 characters right now. Jack is my boy. Right, that's how you do it fast. Okay. Jack is my boy. He's the main character of Dear Dad. He's amazing. I love him. He's a very sweet kid who is a little shy. this, and it does not look very good. This was actually the first thing I made. So if we're comparing the finished pieces I did to any of them, this should be the first one you compare it to. So this is an art done by me and the Ma, who I commissioned for it. They did all 6 of my missing kids arts, because these kids are all in the same story. The story is all told from Jack's point of view, so like realistically he should have the least art of all of them because he doesn't draw himself very much. But I had a lot of fun with him. These are his family, his friends, and then we don't actually have his family. No, it didn't say it. Okay, technically she's... No, she should stay here at the bottom. Okay, he's gonna be at the top. Grace is Jack's crush, his romantic interest. She's crushing on him just as hard as he's crushing on her, but he's like you look at any teenager crushing really hard, and that's what he is doing, and she's over here like, oh, hell yeah. But she's the Steven Universe of dads. So her mom and dad split up, and her mom got a new husband, and her dad found a boy. And he and his boy are very happy, and she and her boy are very happy. And then both of her adoptive aunt uncles are actually into men, so even more men in her life. And she loves everybody, but they're all very gay. As a result, she's both very tomboy and very girly girl. But she's chill. She's fun. She likes her family. Her in-universe nickname is Wild Grace because she will beat a man with his own limb. She's canonically bitten into a man's arm hard enough to rip out a chunk, and then she and Jack ran for cover. I love her. She's amazing. Okay. Willow is my other fave. She is da bomb. She is very sweet black girl who's learning about religion. I don't like how light she is. So, yeah, me and the Ma did the art for all 6 of them. And when I was originally drawing her, I was like, please, please, please make Willow black. Make her so dark. Make her like Nyota, what is her name? The beautiful black model who's everywhere. And make her that dark. And me and the Ma did not. But it's okay. Because it was commissioned. Anyway, she's beautiful. I love her. She's very cute. She should be very dark-skinned. And then we have Reese, which, for the record, Willow has a lot more going on. She's a little bit of a lonely kid. She's an only child. She originally joined this group of kids because, like, she was spending time with them because they were all at, like, a sporting event that their school was hosting, and yada yada yada. That is not a good place for that. I'll come back for it later. But she's cool. She's got a lot going for her. I just skipping over her a little bit for time. Okay. And then we have Reese. This boy has so many siblings and so many passions, and he's also having a really hard time because he's used to having a house full of people and he misses his family. And because of all of this, he is learning he hates hunting but loves cooking, and turns out if you want to do a lot of cooking, sometimes you have to do a lot of hunting, and he's not enjoying that. And he, like, is getting shanghaied into helping with religious stuff because he's actually, like, a really good cook and really good at, like, the thoughtful processes of religion without being terribly religious. Riley Ryans is the actual leader of the group. Because she will cut a bitch. I'm only kind of joking. She really will. Her mama didn't raise no fools, and she will cut a bitch. Okay. And we're just moving these guys down temporarily. Where's Riley? Where'd she go? Did she not come up to the top? she was 19. But yeah, she will hurt you. She's full of rage. She will one day be a paladin, but that day is not today, and tomorrow's not looking good either. And I can't wait for her to be the leader of her group in even more ways as I work on this series. Okay. And finally, Zunair's a bard. In his heart, in his soul, in his everything, he's a bard. He doesn't care if other people think he's annoying, he's a bard. And I love him to bits and pieces. He's my baby. He is so much fun. He is originally from the Middle East. His parents immigrated to the US when he was a baby. And he is full of life, full of laughter, full of jokes. His necklace is actually a peace sign hidden under his clothes. And he is full on, if anything can defuse a situation, it's a joke. Unfortunately, his jokes are not always good, so it doesn't always defuse the situation. Also, we're going to take a brief second to say hydrate, don't hydrate, because we're a full hour into the stream, and I have not stopped talking. Okay. And then the next up at the top are going to be... You know what I should do? I'm trying to do it in like order of projects I'm going to work on, but I also don't remember what order I'm going to work on them. You know what? We'll put Danny up near the top too. She can be after Zunair. 17. Danny is the current protagonist of The Changeling, which I'm going to have to come up with a story for that. I'm not sure. Must be an integer. What do you mean an integer? I wrote 17, didn't I? Yeah, I said 17. Oh, I didn't give him a good number. Okay. You know what, we'll put him at 16. So this is Mackenzie, aka his mom wanted him to have a unique name, so she took all of the vowels out of the name Mackenzie. John can be 15. Jeannie can be 14. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to change the numbers around. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, Danny, you have to go to the bottom of the pile, so Rodney can be at the top of the pile. What was which part? I've got all of my children here. All of them, they're all menaces. We'll put you at 14. Yeah, so these are my characters for different projects. These are the 6 in Dear Dad. These are the... Michael, what are you doing here? Yes, this is Mars. She's very sweet. If you're talking about the terrible noise I made, it's because I got a cat hair in my mouth. Make you 13. Nope, I messed up my numbers again. Damn it. This is Mars. She's a sweetie. She's technically a Grey Malkin because she is at least 16 years old. We don't know how old she actually is. And every time I talk, everyone in my family thinks she's a different age. But if nothing else, she is ancient. Yes, we can give the kitty a treat. I suppose we can do that. Behold the kitty treat. Here, we'll put it right there so you can enjoy it. And then I'm reordering all of my characters from this year's Artfight. You're gonna be 13. You're gonna say 14. You will be 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Nope, that's 0. 1. There we go. There we go. Reordering everyone in one fell swoop. So I already talked about these 6. We're going to talk about these 4. They're Space Baby. Yeah, so these are different projects I'm working on. This one was originally an ongoing web serial. Now I'm going to redo it as a webcomic. Because it's all from the point of view of Jack, and I'm going to start drawing all of these characters. Artfight was really just like a jumping off point for making more art for me. And getting back into it, remembering that I actually love making art. It is something I genuinely really enjoy. And I had a lot of fun doing it. Okay, and this is Rodney. He's the main character of Space Baby. He is the epitome of the brilliant asshole scientist. Which means that his entire character arc in Space Baby is getting taken down several pegs while still technically being in charge of the mission. Jeannie is his sister. Actually, I should swap her with Mackenzie. Because she is more important to him. No offense, Mackenzie. He'd be like none taken. The man is very chill. He eats a lot of weird stuff. He's actually a xenobotanist. But we're technically focusing on him. Also, the the pick regenerator that I used for all of these characters had pride flags, so I of course gave pretty much everyone their pride flag. Rodney is an asshole character. Jeannie is so much sweeter than him. They are the oldest 2 of like 8 kids. I can't remember off the top of my head. Rodney doesn't like any of his other siblings except Jeannie. It is also coincidental that the rest of his siblings are half siblings. And he is very used to his dad picking the most dumb women and believes that is a trait that has carried on to all of the rest of his siblings other than Jeannie. But Jeannie is cool. We like Jeannie. She wears plaid. She's also the only one who's not willing to put up with Rodney's shit initially, which, you know, endears her to me. John loves Rodney. He's also going to take part in taking down Rodney several pegs. It's gonna be great. John's also one of those teenage boys who started getting like 5 o'clock shadow when he was like 15. So even though he's a teenager just like these 4, he's got a full beard at like age 16. And this is Mars being cute because she knows she was being a little shit. I'm gonna move the camera up a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. But yeah, John is great. He's a little shit. But not as much of a little shit as Mackenzie. Mackenzie said, I have no vowels, therefore I must commit all the crimes. He is also Jeannie's main love interest. But this boy he has a terrible habit. I'm describing this like they're their own people, like I didn't choose to have these characters do these things, but like, he really just started doing his own shit. He just puts stuff in his mouth. They're going to an alien world where anything they put in their mouth might kill them. And he's just like, yeah, I'll try it. It can't be that bad, right? What do you mean it can't be that bad? Why are you putting it? Don't put it in your mouth. And then he puts it in his mouth anyway. And then it turns out to be delicious and, in fact, safe to eat for everyone. But, oh my god, Mackenzie, why? Also, the reason behind his name is I realized that you could spell Mackenzie without any vowels. And I was like, what if his mom tried to give him a unique name? And that's how we got this cursed name. Because it's Z. Mackenzie. So this boy got no vowels, and that is a reoccurring joke in the story. And then, this is Danny! She is my main character of The Changeling, which title is going to change. She is the only young person in a town full of old people. There is a good reason for it. You'll have to read the book to find out more. Haha! And then Michael and... I keep forgetting I called him James Questionable. He has a last name, but because he's a hitman, he's not advertising what his last name is, you know? So he instead is James Questionable. So Michael and Jim, are the main protagonists of Ethos of a Hitman, which is where a man who has a doctorate of ethics, he's not a professor, he's a doctorate of ethics, suddenly gets a whole bunch of money from his great uncle dying. Why are they so young in that child comics? So you're familiar with the isekai genre, I assume, because it's a very common genre. But I grew up watching the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, which came out in the 70s, where the main characters were 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And I was like, there's no way these kids are walking out of that without some trauma. Like, they're in a fantasy magical world that is trying to kill them at every point. One of the main antagonists is the goddess of dragons, of evil dragons specifically. Literally, the force of benevolent good in that realm is their, like, mentor. And, like, their main antagonist is literally the embodiment of evil. Like, that's gotta fuck with kids, you know? But I just thought that, like, I didn't wanna do, like, 10 or 11 years old, because that felt a little young. So, like, Jack is the youngest at 14, I believe, and Grace is a little younger than Jack, but not by much, like a couple of months. And then I believe Riley is the oldest at 16. But my idea is that they all hopped in Zunair's car to, like, grab snacks in between, like, rounds at a school sport event, and then they accidentally drove through a portal into this fantasy world. And that actually is a huge part of the story, is that they are young, is that people want to help them because they're young, that people think they know better because the characters are young. So that's actually something I touch on a lot. Because, like, in the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, they're given a lot of, like, respect because they are the carriers of these magical artifacts that are, like, functionally proof that God has chosen them for a mission. And I feel like that's not, like, I don't care if a kid came up to me carrying Excalibur. If he's 12, I'm going to treat him like he's 12. And sometimes that means I'm going to help him with his, God-given mission. And sometimes that means I'm going to go, hey, buddy, when was the last time you slept? When was the last time you ate a real meal? Let me help you. Or, hey, I respect that you've been given a mission by God, but also, you're 12. You're doing Fortnite dances. I just saw one. But yeah, part of it is I also like to write for young adult stuff. So, these guys are 14 to 16. Rodney, Jeannie, John, and Mackenzie are 15 to 17. Danny, though she's, she looks the same age as the rest of them, she's actually in her early 20s. I think she's 22 or 23. Michael and James are in their early 30s, I think. Early to mid 30s. Penelope is 24, and now we're moving out of it, so either's a hitman, all that. Penelope is the protagonist of her novel, Undeath on the High Seas, which is finished. It is out on Amazon. It is available for sale. It is going to be part of a larger universe, but we're getting to that. We'll get there next. So Penelope's like 24 or 25, because, like, she and her friends are celebrating graduating from college in the book. No, they're like 22, 23. There we go. Celebrating graduating from college, they're old enough to drink, party, all of that fun stuff. It is a zombie apocalypse, though. And then Dusk and Danny, Sky, are two more characters who are experiencing the zombie apocalypse. And my longer series, Zatr, Z-A-T-R, actually focuses on Danny as the main character, because he is the point of view character. POV character. Also, he's wearing an all-time low shirt, which I know you can't read it, but I think he would love that band. And he starts off at, like, 15, and it follows him from, like, 15 to 25. Dusk is his first companion in the zombie apocalypse, and there's a lot more going on there, which, when I finish the first book, it'll be available. You'll be able to read it and learn more. Dusk is always mad at everyone. They have not had a good time. They have not had a good apocalypse, and they're going to make it everyone else's problem. They're also trying to find various family members. So, like, Sky is looking for his mom, dad, and sister, Maggie. And Dusk is looking for their brother, River. And it is an important part of the plot. And then Lena and Kara are the main protagonists of Love is Dead, a podcast. And they're right around 30, early 30s. Kara is unfortunately a ghost, sad. And Lena is a nurse / podcast host. Ha. And then Kara ends up being not only her co-host, but her co-ghost, which I love. I came up with that stupid pun and I love it. And that is a book that is honestly mostly done. I just need to finish it. Like, Jesus Christ, so many of these projects I just need to finish. Lily and Rhonda are two of the characters in... Actually, I should probably put Rhonda first, because she is the main character in Paranormal Radio. But yeah, so Paranormal Radio is... Rhonda finally gets her chance to run a late night ghosty hour on her local radio, where she's been working for a while, and she's so excited about it, and she's doing all that. And Lily is an ex-partner who is worried about Rhonda and thinks she's going to invite, bad things and creepy people and weirdos by doing her ghosty hour. Which, we'll see. But I'm planning to do a comic series with these two as well. That includes these two as well. And then we have Ricky and Denali. Denali's actually in my book, The Scarecrow. He is going to make a... Oh, damn, when did the camera freeze? He's actually making a return specifically so he gets to be in his own story, which is currently affectionately nicknamed Dumb Vampire Boys. Because I love him, and he gets into situations with his buddy Ricky. And that one's going to be a shorter comic that I do here sooner or later. We'll see when I actually work on it. But yeah, I love these two. And AJR. Who doesn't love AJR? It's a great band. And they're both like 18-ish when the story originally happens. And more happens there. I'll tell you more later. I'll tell you more as I write more. I mean, I already have the basic plot down. I just need to actually write the story. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Did Pookie join us? Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, I don't think Pookie joined us. And then finally is the widow. So her whole thing is she is the widow of a merchant who went west. So it's set in the Wild West, but she is the spouse of a merchant who went west to, like, seek better fortunes for her and for their hopefully soon to increase family. It's not increasing yet, but hopefully soon to increase. They haven't been married for super long when all of this happens. So the plan is that he's going to come back and they will, have their happily ever after. Rolling in wealth. And then she doesn't hear from him for a while, and she doesn't hear from him for a while, and she doesn't hear from him for a while. And then she gets a telegram that says, "Hey, BT Dubs, he's dead." And she's like, "No, I must mourn my husband. Oh, God. Sweet, I can marry again. I can marry someone I actually like. Oh, no, my husband." Except she actually kind of liked it. Like, he worked very hard to be a good husband to her. Because it was kind of an arranged marriage. Like, not properly arranged, but, like, it was a little bit of a political marriage. And then she gets another telegram from a different place saying, "Hey, by the way, your husband just washed up dead on a riverbank." And another one is, "Hey, by the way, your husband just been shot dead in the middle of this town. Oh, hey, by the way, he's been killed in this blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, he was found dead. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Dead, 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 dead." So the rest of the company basically freezes her access to the assets and is like, hey, we don't know if your husband's dead or not. We're not going to give you any of the money from his company because we assume it's some kind of ploy to make it look like he's dead. So, yeah. Until we have, like, actual confirmation of death, like we see a body, we are not saying whether or not he's dead. And we're not giving you any of the insurance or anything. And she's like, but he's dead. And they're like, too bad. Figure it out yourself. So she has no money. She just has her mourning clothes. And then for this, I included her face. Just to, like, if people wanted to draw her face. Let's go to the images. But in reality, she's got, like, a full cap, like, covering the top of her head, and then a veil covering her face. Like, full-on traditional mourning garb. So, normally you would not see her face. But, she's a cutie, and I like her, so I want to show her off her face a little bit. But yeah, so these are my different various characters that I've got set up here, and then I'm going to run ads and run to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll get to actually planning the month in the last 40 minutes we have. ads just not run? Kind of looks like the ads just didn't run. Weird. Anyway. Alright, now we move on to the real everything, which is planning for the upcoming little bit. So, part of this month was I was very excited to do art, and I got a lot of art done. So now I'm gonna pull out my ridiculously large thing. Oh, yes. Calendar. We're gonna pull out my ridiculously large calendar that I've been keeping track of my stuff on. So, behold my ridiculously large calendar. Stay up. Oh, just stay up. Oh, it's not just staying. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, whatever. Okay, so my it's just so ridiculously large. Like, this is great to have on my wall because I can just, like, look at it and it's nothing, you know? It's wall decoration that I can write on. It's just so ridiculously big. It's a comically large calendar. Okay, I don't think you guys can really see much in the way of, like, oh yeah, I don't think you can see shit right now. Okay, so basically every time I finished a piece, I wrote it down. I forgot to write down all of the words on this one. Shit, what did I call this one? I don't know, I'm just going to abbreviate it to therapy. Just so I would be able to know, like, realistically how long it actually took me to write each thing, or to do each thing. Because I finished Uno Reverse, or I started Uno Reverse on day one. That was, like, the first thing I did. And then I got stressed out because it didn't go as fast as I wanted it to. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to, you know, work on something else for a while. And then I was chatting with Beeples, and I was like, BRB, super tall robot alien boyfriend is gonna be great. Yeah, there we go. So I did that one. What is underneath this? Hold on. There's a pen. That's what's underneath this. Okay, there we go. Lays a little bit more flat now. Comically large. It's just so big. It's ridiculous. Okay, so as you can see, like, the first little bit I was pretty consistent. I had one out just about every other day. And then is one every couple of days. Because I usually work Wednesday through Sunday. So Monday, Tuesday are my days off. But about here is where I started panicking about getting ready for Blueberry Arts Fest, which is... so you can get a little bit more in. I don't think you can read it, but... so... Okay, this is the first week. Can't really see it. Okay, but you can see the second week. Okay, I can work with that. It's just... It's okay. I'll figure it out. Yeah. So, comically large calendar aside, here's where I started worrying about getting ready for Blueberry Arts Fest, which happened here, which is the following Sunday. And, like, I was supposed to receive some stuff so I could, like, make lino cuts and make postcards and make custom bookmarks and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, I was supposed to receive it somewhere in this week, and then here's where I found out it wouldn't be here until middle of August. What am I supposed to do then? I had so much stuff hinged on that. And I was like, okay, this sucks. Well, what am I gonna do? What else am I gonna work on? How am I gonna make this work? So I basically spent this entire week panicking instead of making art. Which sucks. I think I did actually spend these 2 days, and I think this Saturday, working on Make Way Babysit Play, So I did, at least, I was still making art for this, but I just, like, I panicked most of this week. And I did not get a lot done. So, like, the more complex piece took a while. So move the calendar, or move the camera back down. I can just move this up a little bit if I need to. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Me and my comically large calendar. This is the downside of comically large calendars. So, like, I knew I wouldn't be able to get stuff ready for Blueberry Arts Fest, so I was working on alternate options. I was figuring out what I needed to do. I was trying to get stuff done. And I spent most of the last, like, week really, really stressed out. Which is unfortunate, because I was very excited about this. Is it July? This is the comically large calendar for July. We're talking about July while I explain, like, what went wrong so I can get ready for August. Which I'm aware it's already August, but, you know, whatever. So I did get 10 pieces done. I'm really proud of myself for getting 10 pieces done. But I would like to make a webcomic. So I've learned that more simple art is easier to finish. I can finish that faster. But the funny thing is none of this art style was actually what I want to work on for the webcomic I'm making. Because the webcomic I'm making, I want to do, like, simple sketching, because the main character, Jack, doesn't have access to a lot of art supplies or tools or whatever. He just has a pen and some paper. So, like, I can't do, like, autofill everything. I have to sketch it out as I go. You can't see it, but I just sketched out a circle, and it looks bad. So I am prepping for August, and I want to make art, but I know I need to be realistic about this. I have to look at this and go, I'm not going to be able to finish more than one comic page a week right now. Not when I'm only actually dedicating 4 hours a week to it. If I was dedicating more time, I'd probably be able to get more done. But as it is right now, I'm not going to be able to get a lot done. But that's okay. I know that, especially because I'm planning to do, like, short stories on Sundays, and I'm going to continue writing on Sundays and Mondays, and I'm going to play games with friends Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'll only have art on Thursday and Saturdays. And then Fridays will be for whatever I want to do. Will be for fun and going to weddings and hanging out with people I like and maybe just zoning the frick out for several hours. You know, that's what it comes to. But yeah, so I'm not going to stress myself out about it. To dedicate time, not finished pieces sounds good too. I feel like I understand the meaning of that sentence. To dedicate time. I feel like I understand what you mean by that sentence. It's a little clunky though, so I'm not 100%, but I feel like I understand it. But I am planning to spend more time on actually finishing stuff. Working on things. So, we're now going to flip the page of my comically large calendar over. Oh, and I'm going to take a minute to also admire my little sketching thing, or my little idea panel from last... Oh god. I turned my calendar off on accident, or I turned my camera off on accident. I turned the screen off on accident. I'm so tired, y'all. I spent so many hours yesterday up and awake and moving heavy shit, and my arm still hurts. Like, just like all through my bicep. I carried heavy shit all day, and I pulled heavy things all day. And I feel stronger on this side, but also it hurts. But yeah, so, you know, I planned to make art all 31 days. I didn't. I made 10 pieces of art. I did make art a lot more days than, you know, I have in the last year. Sorry for English, it was meant that if you decide to spend 4 hours per week not able to finish 10 art, still fulfill your goal. Exactly! My goal is to spend the time working and to spend it well, not finish pieces. So anything I finish in those 4 hours every week is going to be awesome. Okay, we're going to take a minute to look at last month's goals. So I finished this draft of The Changeling, so hell yeah. Also, Taurus. Yeah, you were the one who promised you would also work on a thing if I finished the first draft, so I'm making imaginary eye contact with you. I have not worked on my VODs at all. I've been too busy. I've been doing stuff. I've been stressed the hell out. I've been working on other projects. I'm just I'm tired. But I'm making imaginary eye contact with you, Taurus, about finishing stuff. So I did not work on my VODs at all. Like, I just have not had time. I've had no real inclination towards it because I've been, I've been tired. There's been other more important stuff to work on for me. Like making art, getting ready for Artfest, getting stressed about Artfest, finishing the Changeling. I did a little bit journaling. I didn't do great. I do have plans on changing this, like my act for that goal. I technically do have face claims for my characters, and we just saw them in the Artfight. So I technically did that, but I don't have, like... This sounds creepy. This is going to sound creepy. I'm sorry ahead of time. I kind of want to find, like, Instagrams of a couple of, like, teenagers who are still growing up to use as face claims, but I know that's creepy and I'm not going to do that. Because then they'll change and grow, but, like, no, I need to... I need to not do that. Also, the music cut off at some point, and I don't know when it cut off. Sorry. How long have it quiet, guys? Why didn't you say anything? I'm just gonna make my noises. I did not draw the first page of the comic. That is going to be something I revisit in this coming month. And I will try to work on it, but the real goal is just to spend time. And then do again at the end of month. I did not do this again at the end of the month, because this one's like 2 months old now. Oopsie. But we're going to take a look at August, and we're going to see what August has coming for us. And it's coming for us, because it's coming for us. Okay, so we will note that Sunday and Monday. Sunday is Sci-Fi Sunday. And my goal for Sundays is going to be working on sci-fi short stories. Also, remember to hydrate, everyone. Except for the 30th, which we'll be planning for September, I believe. Because we're planning it ahead of time this time. Because honestly, I feel like planning it at... God, what day would it have been? Yeah, planning it on the 26th would have been so far ahead, but planning it on the 30th, that makes more sense. Okay. And then Mondays are just going to be writing sprints. This is why you don't plan in pen. Writing sprints. And this is just me figuring out what I'm doing in stream. Just so I have like a physical place for the things that are not going to change without really good reason. And then the 24th and the 31st is going to be when school starts in my local area. So there's going to be probably some shenanigans happening around then. I'm just lurking, hanging out. Yeah, you're allowed to do that. Okay. And then Thursdays are going to be art streams. Along with Saturdays. And then, actually, I'm going to do Friday break. So I don't have to re-roll the calendars many times. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays have been playing games with friends, but that's also been really wishy-washy recently. Which, for the record, I love my friends. They've just been busy, so that's been up. Like, Wednesday is my day with Adrian and Steven, and Adrian has a lot of physical health issues, so she can't always stream every week. And Steven works on his feet all day. Like, he's walking 20,000 plus steps every day. Like, that poor boy needs a break. If he chooses to skip out on stream, I'm not offended. Oh, and we have a Mars. Martian invasion. Hi, pretty girl. So, like, I don't expect them to be here every week. So, on the weeks they're not here, I can use that. I can probably alternate writing and art streams. Just depending on, like, who's available, what's not available, and also, of course, gaming. And then Tuesdays are usually reserved for Tabby and Tabby nonsense. So we'll see how that goes. Hello, Tabby. No. Hello, Mars. You're here for the Tabby nonsense. You love cuddling up with Tabby. But sadly, my computer is not handling the video games, the Resident Evil games as well, so sadly Tabby is not going to come over for in-person streams anymore. But that just means I can pull out my knitting and, like, rest it on the table instead of trying to, like, contain it in my lap, because it does not like being contained. And then I can show you guys my scrap blanket later. And then, actually, fun fact, we are only a little over a month out from my 1-year anniversary of streaming. So I think I might do something fun for that. I'm definitely taking recommendations if you guys have any ideas. So I should definitely add that to my calendar for next month. So special 1-year anniversary. And that is September 21st. That will mark 1 whole year I've been streaming. Isn't that exciting? Mars thinks it's exciting. She's kneading my paper. And then we're going to grab out a new notebook, honestly. Because I'm financially responsible and I bought $28. I bought 28 notebooks, wide ruled, 1 subject, 70-page notebooks, and this will be my new planning notebook. And I can pull out some of my 11 billion sticky notes. I have so many colors. I have color fatigue. I have decision fatigue. I'll use one of my blocks of sticky notes. So for those of you who weren't here the other day, when Taurus asked me about my post-it note stash and the fact that I'm also working on budgeting this year, or in the near future. This year. So, hey, what are you doing? And sometimes I wish I could just reset my entire brain. That would be really nice. Ever feel that? Like, your brain needs a reset? God, I woke up this morning and I felt hungover. Like, I don't drink. I did not do anything weird yesterday that would, like, make me feel hungover. Like, God, I woke up and I felt hungover. Like, I was tired and the sun was too bright. And I just wanted to go back to bed, really. Behold my brick of post-it notes that I'm about to use. I should just use it. I should just use different colors. Yeah, because these are a brick. These aren't different colors. Okay. I'm gonna use yellow and salmon and lavender's nice. I'll use lavender. How many goals am I gonna set? I'm gonna set 6 areas. No, you know what? Okay, so big goals are going to be... This one is already falling off, so we're going to use this top one of these two first. So we're going to say Artfight. No, we're going to say Dear Dad. What is this? August 2026. So we're going to say first goal, Dear Dad. We're going to say second goal, Changeling. The first goal of that one's come up with a new name. Let's see. Put this one about halfway down. We're gonna say this one will be... Oh, this one can be working on my personal curriculum. I definitely spelled curriculum wrong. Don't come after me for it. I'm too tired for this shit. Let's see. Oh, I need more colors. Yay, an excuse to use all of my different colored post-it notes. Huh? Oh, I can use a light blue and a green. Light blue, green, and do I have an orange? I have a... No, we'll use hot pink. Hot pink is fun. There we go. So I got my yellows, I got my purples, I have my salmon. Let's do green next. We'll call this one my Zettelkasten. This is a new thing. I will explain it later because I feel like explaining it will take longer than I have left in my stream. And then we'll do blue. And hot pink can be my other for now. So of course I haven't filled this up all the way. I'm going to work on this more tomorrow. It doesn't have to be perfect, Ellen. Why am I making it perfect? I don't know. And anything that as I finish it, I will put it onto the opposite side of the page so that it's like right there and I can find it easily. And I will add more to it. What should number 5 be? So Dear Dad is important. The Changeling is important. Oh shit! Weekly short story. Okay, so let's see. If I'm gonna do a weekly short story on Sundays, not counting today, oops, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more to do, so I will put down 4. So for this, we'll do 5 and I'll post an actual one later. Do more than 5. But basically each of these sticky notes will be, I am going to finish one, edit it, and post it on Patreon, and make sure it is available to all of my users who are on the appropriate tier to read it. And I do want to get more into sci-fi, which is why I want to focus on finishing some of my other projects, so that I can focus in on stuff like Space Baby, which is where Rodney, Jeannie, Mackenzie, and John are from. And also, if I do a weekly short story, then I can have like a book of short stories at the end of a certain amount of time. Because there are... How many weeks left in the year? Yeah, weeks left in 2026. If I successfully write a short story every week from now until the end of 2026, I'll have written 21 short stories. And assuming I don't want to put all of them into a book, I'll still have enough short stories to make for good reading. So yeah, that is something I want to do. For my personal curriculum, I'm going to try... I've got a huge list of books and stuff. Books and animes and podcasts and lots of fun things. And I'm already really, really enjoying, like, working on it. Oh, here we go. So, I'm now reading Steering the Craft. I've started listening to some of Writing Excuses. They're really short, so I might actually listen to the entire podcast instead of, like, one or two, or instead of, like, only the first season. I want to finish the book before I read the movie, though, so what I might do is aim to finish one of these things a week. So that would be... How many did I say? I said 4 weeks left in the year. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will aim to finish one subject each week. Because I've got over 200 items. I do not want to take over 4 years to do this. So I will... I'm sure I'll do more, but, you know. It is better to plan to take it slow than to plan to rush and burn yourself out, you know? Finish the book before you read the movie. I know, I keep doing this, right? Well, luckily, Steering the Craft, the book, has nothing to do with Planet Earth 2 by the documentary by BBC. So I'm okay if I don't finish it. And part of working on each of these is I will finish a book, a play, a movie, and I'll take notes as I go, and I will add the notes to the Zettelkasten. So, that will make all of this a lot easier as well, because I will, they'll feed into each other as I go. And the Zettelkasten is fun, because I'll be able to look at the notes and how they all connect as I go, which will build up, hopefully in my brain, to come up with new stories, new essays, new content for talking about on stream, new stuff to talk about on YouTube, because I'm hoping to start, like, doing video essays and stuff on YouTube. We'll see, though. And this will just be a once a week go through anything you've written down, make sure you've brain dumped it onto paper, so it's at least physically there, and then add it to the Zettelkasten. Which I will explain later, and hopefully it'll work. We'll see. The hardest part for me is remembering to, like, work on it every day, but the thing is, I don't have to work on it every day. I can work on it, like, every other day. I can work on it every third day. I just have to do it regularly. Then... once again, do it again at the end of the month. I don't know if I really have any goals for Dear Dad right now, other than just, like, maybe drawing each of the characters. We'll see how it goes. Okay, here. Draw characters. And then second sticky note, because I gotta remember, the point of the sticky notes is that each one is a smaller task. Can't wait to see how the character goes. Thank you. Hopefully well. I would hate to ruin my boys and my girls, but we'll see. So, draw the characters. I'm just going to put the sticky notes down now so I can add to them as I go, which kind of goes against the spirit of planning ahead of time. But you know what? We're calling it good. This is how the ADHD mind plans. we say we definitely are going to need to do that later. But yeah. So behold my beautiful plan for August, which, you know, drawing my characters for Dear Dad, coming up with a new name for the changeling, something to do with Alaska, finishing preferably at least 5 things off of my personal curriculum. Like Steering the Craft I should be able to do before the end of this week. Really, I'm probably going to read a lot of it tomorrow. Writing Excuses podcast, I'll probably listen to it a lot while I'm drawing tomorrow. Planet Earth, you know, I want to finish the book before I watch any movies, but I'll be able to do it soon. I'm torn on whether I want to watch the play or read the play. We'll see how it goes. And then I want to research this John Singer Sargent. He was recommended to me as I believe he's a painter. I might be wrong about that. We'll find out. And then I own this book, so I at least want to find this book. But yeah, I've gone through and I've made this gigantic list of different things I want to watch and read and experience and play. Like Soma, the game, is in there. Blade Runner's in there. Signalis. I just need to look up some cave exploration documentaries because they're horrifying. I love caves. I think they're so cool. I don't think humans should go in them unless they have an easy way to get out. Cave divers? Nuts. Crazy. Insane. I'm gonna watch The Lighthouse because I've been meaning to watch it, and I want to like think about it as like horror and inspiration and unknown. And I saw the TV Glow. I want to watch that one. I feel like that'll be really interesting to like examine from a what is the unknown, how does it affect each other, how does it go in together. And then I want to look at like, you know, Attack on Titan is like a huge connection of story, but also its own thing. The Tempest is like a huge, deep, impactful story. I've never read it before. It'll be fun to read. I've never read the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien, so that might be fun. And I'm not sure where else to put it, so it's there. You know, I've got Arcane on here. I've been meaning to watch it. I've got 12 Angry Men. That one's going to be really interesting for moral complexity. King Lear. Never read it. It's supposed to be really interesting. Grave of the Fireflies. It's gonna make me cry. A lot. I know it's gonna make me cry. I have no choice but to watch it. I've been meaning to watch it for years. I know it's gonna make me cry. I don't want to watch it. I hate crying. But you know, that's part of this, is I am inching out of my comfort zone. I am also engaging with things that I maybe have not read or watched or done before that's been on my list for a while, and I really do want to watch and read and experience them. I just haven't. Man. And then a few of them I've definitely read before, like Nausicaa. I have mushroom guides all over my house, but mushrooms are fascinating. Oh, I see a tarot. Okay, I will do the tarot. But yeah, I'm just, like, so much stuff I've been meaning to do, and I've got it split up, and I just want to, like, examine it from a creative mindset. So yeah, plans for August. I'm going to move these off the main part of the desk now so I can do a tarot reading. I'm going to go put my giant, ridiculous, comically large calendar away, and we'll move on. And then I will close up shop for the night. Me and my comically large calendar. Okay, how are we feeling? Do we want to try new tarot deck or old tarot deck? Any preference? I have both of them. So like I can do either one. Either. Old Faithful. Yeah, I can do that. I brought both of them over just in case. Okay. How much? Yeah, a little space to work with. Okay, keep in mind for August. Themes, advice, warnings, overall. Okay. Judgment's second from the top. I always like to ask, like, what should I keep in mind next time I open up the box? 4 of Wands. Just because you never know. So what does the 4 of Wands have to say? probably slow your roll, babe girl. There's something out here a lot. There's stability in your momentum. You have been accomplishing small goals and can look back on your progress. There's celebration here, that the work is ongoing. Okay, so it's not slow your roll, baby girl. It's you're doing good. Keep up the good work. Okay, that's good. And then the tower. Did I show you guys what Tabby got me when they went on their trip, on their vacation? I might have already, but they got me the tower card. That is pretty. I don't know if I would have chosen the tower for myself, but, you know, it is stunning. I do kind of want to clean up the edges a little bit. I don't like the edges. But it's pretty. Yeah, I just want to show that off before I do the tarot reading. Because the tower card reminded me. Okay. And then we shuffle while thinking about the question. And then on and on we go. Something to keep in mind for August. I know connectivity is going to be important. It's like it's way too easy to get disconnected in the dog days of summer when it's hot and there's like so much stuff to be done, but it also feels like the summer's gonna last forever. But yeah, it'll be fun to work on things and get more done and just like have evidence of what I'm doing and evidence that it's working, you know? Like doing the Stonewall Club, doing the Patreon, doing this, that, and the other thing. Maybe I'll have the short stories go live on Saturdays, just to give me a little bit of time. Like I work on it on Sundays, but like, or I write on Sundays, but I actually put them out on Saturdays. The plan for the Snail Mail Club is that I set it up on the first Monday of each month. So like, in September, I will get everything ready on the 7th and then actually ship it out on the 8th. But like after that, it'll be the 5th and then the 6th. But that gives me time to like, okay, any stragglers, anyone I forgot, anything I need to do, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, slow and steady wins the race. Any momentum is good momentum. See, it's really hard to do my favorite kind of shuffle, which is just this with a larger deck, like a tarot deck. Oh, I've also been thinking about doing tarot decks for my Zombie Apocalypse series, like a tarot deck for my Zombie Apocalypse series. The biggest problem with that, though, is that any tarot deck I make would inherently be spoilers. So I kind of have to wait till I'm done writing the series to make a tarot deck. Which I'm sure is poppycock. I could just make the tarot deck and like, oh no, spoilers. But at the same time, it's like, I suppose it is all a little wibbly-wobbly anyway. Okay. So, what should we keep in mind for August? Just in general, what do we keep in mind? What are some themes? Advice? Warning? Overall. Okay, so in general, we should keep in mind 8 of Pentacles, themes, advice, warnings, and overall. The Hanged Man upside down is, or reverse is kind of, or no, he's right side up. He'll be right side up to you, or he'll be upside down to you guys. Okay, so keeping in mind in general is the 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles is generally monetary related, if I recall correctly. Okay, upright. 8 of Pentacles. To keep in mind, your talents and hard work are being appreciated. This card can also be an affirmation of good work for artists and craftspeople. So any of my peeps who took part in Artfight, the cards are saying good job. You did good, keep it up, don't burn out. This can also symbolize compensation for your work. You may feel the need to invest in yourself now. So yeah, now's the time to invest in yourself and your projects and things you want to work on. Themes is going to be the Six of Swords reversed, which is, while you desire to move on, you need clarity to do so. You're feeling stuck or perhaps you think you have moved on, but old habits or fixations are keeping you stuck now. So this is the card of examine what you're doing to make sure you're not making the same mistakes again. So this might be, you know, doing something to burn out. This might be, you know, not taking care of yourself. This might be you're not practicing something new. You're practicing the same thing you've done before, you know. Just make sure you're not stuck in the old rut. But it can also indicate travel, so maybe you're traveling somewhere. I'm not traveling anywhere as far as I know. Okay. Advice comes from the High Priestess. Tell us, oh High Priestess. It is time to look within for answers. What are your dreams trying to tell you? Listen closely. When the material world cannot provide answers, we must look within and trust ourselves. So this is advice is to trust yourself. You know what you're doing, you know what you're working on. Take time to sit with yourself, to examine your practice, like what you think is best, like what you've worked on before. Just connect with yourself. So actually this is kind of a good one for me, at least, because the thing I'm focusing on with my personal curriculum is how does it all interconnect and how does it specifically feed into what I want to work on. So this is a good one for me to consider. I like it. It's a good one though. That's a very good one to have for advice. And then the Sun reversed for bad news, the warnings. Okay. So, warnings are, instead of finding light, you feel further submerged in darkness. There's an inability to see opportunities before you, or perhaps you're sinking deeper into a depression. So again, this is one, take care of yourself, keep an eye on your mental health, make sure you're not working yourself too hard, or repeating bad habits that have been bad for you in the past. You know, it is entirely too easy to do that to yourself. I'm well aware of it. I'm sure you guys are well aware of it. Just take care of yourself. You know, like the High Priestess says, look within for the answers, but don't get stuck in a rut. And then the Hanged Man is just overall to keep track of. And that is 12. Okay. You may be feeling stuck or put on hold, but it may be for the best. Growth is a long, slow process. Have patience. So really, this one is just reiterating what we've heard from the other ones, which is you're making good progress. Trust yourself on it. Make sure to understand what you're doing and go slow and not push yourself crazy hard. Just trust the process, trust that you know what you're doing, but take time to make sure you're not repeating bad habits. But overall, this is a pretty good spread. August is going to be good for the creatives. So, hell yeah. Okay. I'm going to find someone to raid. Excuse me. And then we will move on for the evening. But yes, thank you all my lovelies for joining me tonight. And hopefully you enjoyed laughing with me, you know, whatever works. With my comically large calendar. Okay, it looks like they're doing something silly, so we'll rate them. Hopefully they're having fun. Take care of yourself, make sure to have fun. Oh hey, they're using obsidian. I also use obsidian. Okay. But yeah, take care of yourself, have fun, make sure you're not pushing yourself too hard. I do have a Patreon, which I will be posting to weekly, I guess maybe on Saturdays. We'll find out. But new short stories every week. I have my snail mail club, which I am working on getting set up and getting established. And then goals for the month include working on my characters, working on my personal curriculum, getting the Changeling more finished so I can hopefully finish it in time for Winter Arts Fest, which is the weekend after Thanksgiving, which, if you're not in the United States, is the last weekend of August, or I'm sorry, the last weekend of November usually. So I think this year it'll be the 27th, 28th, and 29th of November. We'll see. It gives me a little time, but not a lot of time. And I'm going to focus on writing a short story every week. We'll see how that treats me. Wish me luck. Good luck to all of you. And I hope you all have a wonderful and lovely evening. Make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already, and join the Patreon if you haven't already. Alright, night-night, y'all.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, where today we're once again playing Project Zomboid. However, we're playing with a little bit of a twist. For this run, we are playing